Hi there. Welcome to your Love Talk. I am so glad that you have tuned in today. Please remember to subscribe to this podcast to receive notifications of new episodes each week. You can do that by visiting the podcast tab at yourlovetalk.com, select subscribe or follow, and choose the podcast hosting platform you use. I truly appreciate your support. Today, I want to introduce Retta Young to this podcast episode. Retta is the owner of Assisted Living Locators for Northern Virginia 2022 and has an inspiring story to share. After becoming an empty nester, she embarked on a new career path, channeling her passions into a business dedicated to helping seniors and their family members. In this episode, Retta discusses the various assisted living care options available for seniors and the critical support she provides to families during this important stage of life. Tune in to hear Retta's valuable insights on assisted care living for seniors. Hi, Retta. Welcome to the Love Talk podcast. It's so nice having you here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So I met you about a month ago at one of our local chambers meeting. And I know that you specialize in assisted living. And I wanted to just have you talk a little bit about what you do and introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, that's wonderful. So hello, everyone. My name is Retta Young. I'm a senior living advisor for Assisted Living Locators. I am the owner of Assisted Living Locators here in Northern Virginia, where I cover from Woodbridge all the way down towards Culpeper and Queens area. And so what I do is I help families, caregivers, and seniors find housing in assisted living, memory care, or independent living. My services are at no cost to the families. These are difficult times, and so you need someone like myself who can help walk you through the process and help you find something that's according to your budget, the type of care you need, and the location that you're looking for.
So great. So tell me, what inspired you to move into this area of working with seniors and their families?
Good question. So prior to this, I worked for the federal government for 22 years. And that was the desire of my heart to work for the government. I'm from New York originally, and I met some federal employees at a meeting while I was working for New York City Department of Transportation. And I was so impressed by their professionalism and their presentation that I said, oh, I want to work for people like that. And so I learned about federal government. I applied for jobs and I got one. I moved up to Virginia area. I bought my first home. I was a single mom, and for 22 years, I commuted back and forth to DC, night and day, just working hard, staying focused, taking care of my family, buying a home. We got married, all that fun stuff. And then when I became an empty nester, thank you, Lord. When I became an empty nester, and you got to recognize them, okay, honeys? And also, so the door don't open back up. I'm just saying. And so when I became an empty nester, it was just me and my Yorkie, Oscar de la Renta. And I said, well, what are we going to do? Because I've been a mom, but now I want to do something for me. And I thought about it, was doing, as we were coming out of COVID, I realized that I didn't want to continue to do what I was doing in the government. It was a great stepping stone. It was a great opportunity. It helped me reach goals that I had put in my life. But now I wanted to think about something that I really wanted to do that made me happy every morning, look forward to going to. And I knew there had to be a better life than this. And so I did some research. I prayed about it. And back in 2012, my first lady from my church, Harvest Life Changers, love you guys. Shout out to them. She had challenged us to try something different. So I prayed on it, and God told me to start a business. So I started a boutique. And from there, starting from a boutique from ground up, I learned a lot of the highs and lows of being an entrepreneur, but really it was a part-time because I was working full-time. And then when COVID came, I really started thinking about my life because I was at home. I had time to. I wasn't rushing every morning before the sun comes up. I'm in DC and when the sun goes down, I'm heading home. I was actually home, eating in my kitchen, eating in my living room, my dining room. And I was like, wow, I didn't know this house was this big, so
I
Like,
will
girl, you
tell
did
you,
good for
COVID
yourself.
made a lot of people change and really stop and reflect about what they actually wanted in life.
Exactly. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to go back to that life, hustling, bustling back and forth to DC. And we were working from home for 3 years.
Mhm.
And I said, I'm 57 and I got a good 10 years before I retire.
Yeah.
I want to do something that I enjoy doing. And so I learned about franchising through a Black couple who owned three Dunkin' Donuts near me. And I had no
Ah,
idea. And I
yeah.
was like, wow, I didn't know these Dunkin' Donuts were owned by Black families. And I was like, let me learn more about these franchises. And so I did some research and I found out that Dulles Expo Center hosts franchise events. And so I sought one out, paid, and went down there. And I met a franchise like headhunter, and she helped me figure out the different types of franchises that fit my lifestyle. She does an assessment. And from there, she introduces me to the owners of these franchises where I get to interview them and see if I'm a good fit and I see if, things will work out. And so that's how it got started. I learned about four different types of franchises and I narrowed it down to assisted living locators. It was the perfect fit, the perfect price, and the perfect purpose. Their mission was just amazing. And the owner of it, the founder, was a registered nurse. She's from Arizona, had discovered that every time they released seniors from the hospital, within 2 or 3 days, they were returning. And no one was giving them guidance and helping them. And so she started doing that and realized that could become a business. And from there, that was back around 2008, and the business has been going nonstop. Now we have over 140 locations just on the East Coast side. And so I'm really proud and honored to be a part of it because we are helping people. We're helping some of the most vulnerable population, and that is the senior community.
Well, thank you for that. But were you drawn to senior living because you had family members who you had to support in some way?
No, actually, well, let me backtrack. My mom, she was a traveling wheelbarrow. She has three daughters.
Okay.
And so when the last one moved out and went off to college, my mom, she went through a bit of depression. And unfortunately, we lost our home and she decided to move between the three of us. And the three of us lived in different locations. My baby sister was in New York. My older sister was in South Carolina. And here I was, New York as well, but in the city area. And so my mom would move between the three of us.
Mhm.
And unfortunately her health was not that good. So she died very young. She was only about 58 years old. No, about
Right.
54, 56 years old.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she did not take good care of herself when it came to her health. And so I did not experience that. I did experience somewhat of responsibilities of her whenever she stayed with us,
Mhm.
but not to the degree that what you see now that's going on. It's called the sandwich generation,
Mhm.
where you have adult children who are married or have kids and are working, taking care of their family, working full-time jobs. Then they come home and they still have their parents who may or may not live with them, but they still have to book their doctor appointments, check on them, make sure the food is being delivered, book different types of appointments, follow up to making sure they're taking their medication. That's the sandwich generation. They're doing a lot and they're in the middle and
Yeah.
they call them caregivers, and they don't get paid for any of this and they don't get
Right.
time off. They don't get any vacation time. And I see it a lot in this community. Like I said, the senior community, I've always been drawn to seniors
Mhm.
ever since I was a teenager. I find them fascinating. They always have a story to tell and a history. Some of them are unsung heroes that we never get to hear their stories. I wish many of them would write books
Yeah.
because this is history that's walking out the door with them. And we really need to grab that information and share it with our future generation so they can learn from it. And so I've always taken that opportunity whenever I was at a new promotion or job at the government to seek out some of the senior members in our group. And some of them was about to retire, and they gave me some of the most valuable information as a new rookie, so to speak, or in my field or in the agency. And so I think it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Absolutely right. There's so much information that seniors have, and oftentimes we don't know, what they've been through and some of their
Hmm.
struggles or some of their successes or whatever they've walked
Hmm.
through. I know when my dad, before he passed, I remember saying, I don't remember, he never really talked a lot about his family. So I was like, I need to write down some information about his family, what they went through, because I realized we kind of missed that, growing up. And I realized that, when he passed, it would have been difficult to try to get all that information. So that is a really good point for us to be able to get that information from our parents or grandparents or senior relatives, just to be able to hold on to those memories, pass them on to the
Yeah.
next generation.
Yeah, there are a lot of things. My godmother, God bless her, I don't know, I hope I don't hurt people's feelings, but my godmother, she took her famous stuffing to her grave. And I regret till this day that I never took the time out to really spend time in that kitchen and watch her on how she made that stuffing. And I've had great stuffing throughout these years from others and things
Yeah,
like that. But her stuff, no one can match
not
it.
the same.
And it's, and every now and then I feel a little guilty about I did not pay attention. And there are so many things we could do, but it is what it is. But
Yeah,
now there are companies who are going out now capturing that opportunity, going to assisted living communities and videotaping family members, to asking them questions, using it as archive or family history to give to future generations. And I think that's wonderful.
great. It's funny. You brought back my memory. I think it was a couple of years ago. I told my mom, because she has these amazing recipes as well. And
Mm-hmm.
whether it's her black cake or her, it's just different Caribbean food. And I remember saying, what,
Mm-hmm.
Mom, you need to have a cookbook, and we never really
Mm.
got to it. And I said to my niece just a few months ago, I said, we need to capture it this Christmas. And
Mm.
unfortunately, she got sick. She's back home now, thank God. But it reminds me of the importance of being able to write these things down. I said to one of my other nieces who really cooks a lot like her, and I said, somehow you learned to do some of this stuff. So I'm glad that you got
Mm-hmm.
it, but I think we need to actually capture it in writing.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Writing, pictures, videos,
yeah.
most definitely.
Love it. So, Retta, can you talk a little bit about the different types of assisted living that people can access?
So, assisted living, there are different types, like you said, but it depends. So, a lot of people, let me just clarify, a lot of people think assisted living is a nursing home, and it is not. Assisted living is for those who have a few things that they're unable to do at home or need help with, like prepping their food or helping them take a shower, helping them transition from getting out of bed, standing up, or maybe getting to their walker, or even using a wheelchair. That's assisted living, where people come in and home care providers, certified nursing assistants will come in and help them, right? And so a lot of people I keep reading in comments and Facebook, oh, I can never put my mom there. Oh, and they keep saying nursing home. It
Mm,
is not a nursing home. It's more like an all-inclusive resort.
mm,
Now, a lot of people say, well, that doesn't look like an inclusive resort. The one I just went to, maybe not. And there's a reason for that. It all is based on cost. I can take you to a place that costs $15,000 a month and you'll feel like you're at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico. But I can also take you to a place for 6,000 and you will feel the same way. But it's lower, like 1,000, $2,000. It may not feel like an all-inclusive resort, a swimming pool, a gym, things like that. But they do have CNAs there who will take good care of you. They keep the rooms clean. They provide 3 meals a day, plus additional food and beverages. They provide some activities, not a robust one. So there are different types of assisted living communities. It just depends on the type of care you need, your location, and definitely your budget. And so a lot of people keep saying, well, what is it, the difference between them? There's CCRCs, for instance. They call those continuing care retirement communities, right? Think of it as a college campus. You have on a college campus your freshman building, your sophomore building, your junior and your senior building, right? So on a CCRC, you will have your independent living where seniors who are still active, they don't need any CNAs to help them get up in the morning or move around or anyone to prep. They still cooking their own breakfast, reading their newspapers, having a good old time, actually going out golfing and everything else.
Okay.
Those are independent living communities, all right? What they offer is meal plans, they offer gyms, they offer pools, they offer everything except for CNAs. Okay. And so it's up to you to get up. It's up to you to bathe yourself. It's up to you to cook your own food. And then on that same campus, they will have an assisted living community where CNAs are there 24 hours a day. They help you get up. They help you get ready for the day. They help you get down to have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And there's always a nurse on the premises 24 hours a day.
Is that a higher cost?
Yes, it is.
It's a higher cost. Okay.
And let's just say normally under independent living, it's half the price of an assisted living.
Okay.
Okay, so normally in the state of Virginia, for instance, in the areas I'm in, independent living can run you between, I'd say, 3,000 all the way up to, and depends on the size of the rooms. If you want 2 bedrooms, 1 bedrooms, 3,000 to about $6,000. Okay. And that's independent. And at 6,000, the high end, you're talking 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. You have full meal plans. It's a lot going on. And so you have to keep in mind too, with independent living, everything is including your base rent, your meals, your rent, your amenities, your light, gas, water, all that is included. No, except the only thing that's not included is your phone. Your phone bill is not included. Internet is even included. Okay. And so I think it's and then they have the gym and all that you have access to. Under assisted living, you have all of that, plus you have the CNAs, certified nursing assistants who are there. You have the nurses on site. You have doctors who come in. You have your medication delivered. Also transportation. Transportation is also provided at some independent living as well. And they're definitely provided at your assisted living communities, taking you back and forth to the doctor's office, things of that nature, right? And so, again, so now you have at independent living, let's just say it's $3,000 a month. So assisted living, we would say it's about 6,000.
Got it.
And right. So
and the
then
high would be around 12.
Right.
Okay.
And so, but again, it depends on the community, it depends on the location, it depends on your level of care.
Okay.
Because under assisted living, you have your base rent, which is everything we talked about as far as your food, your house, your shelter, all your amenities. But then the level of care would come in with the CNA, medication management, diabetes, if you need adult diapers, change, if you need diabetic shots, all of that is a level of care. And so that's where you go from $3,000 to $6,000, right? And then with the 6,000, maybe an additional small amount of cost that some of them are starting to separate out, like diabetes and medication management. That's something that has been popping up lately where they're separating that price out. And then if we go to memory care, now memory care, you have 24-hour care, plus the community is usually secured to refrain those who wander. Yeah. And get lost. We don't want them to get lost or get hurt. And so that's a secured community, and they have a lot more CNAs and more eyes on them. And so we go from 6,000 to about 8,000 to 9,000 a month. Okay. And these are estimates. Again, these are estimates and depends on the location. And then after that, you have the nursing home. In the nursing home, those prices can go to $13,000 to $15,000, $17,000 a month. Okay. But now that's for a CCRC campus. You have assisted living communities that stand by themselves, right? And what they do is some of their prices may vary, but then you have residential assisted living. These are private homes that owners have turned the rooms into an assisted living. They'll have the bars or the rails in the bathroom. They'll have the emergency pull rings next to the bed or in the bathroom. They'll have a lot of cameras to make sure that the family member, all eyes are on them. Now, what I like about residential communities also is that you have a smaller number of seniors, so they get a lot more personal care.
Got it.
So if you have 7 bedrooms, 7 residents, that means that the ratio of CNAs would be about 2 or 3 for the 7 that's there. And that's great because it's a small enclosure. They're not on the 3rd or 4th floor. They're just on either the 2nd or the 1st floor. And there's always someone close by if they fall or if they need help getting off out of the bathroom. So I like that more personal care. A lot of families who need higher level of care normally use residential assisted living versus a larger facility because the cost is a little bit more doable because a lot of families are like, look, the level of care is at a facility for a family member dealing with, especially with memory care, can run you, like you said, 12, all the way $12,000. When you go to a residential, depending on the location, they normally have a flat rate, and their flat rate can be 7,500, 8,500. There's a very popular one up in McLean, Virginia. They charge 9,500. There's no level of care. It's all one flat rate.
Okay. So do you recommend that people start planning early for long-term care just in case you get to that place where you might actually need it?
Yes, I strongly recommend if you are over 55, you definitely should be having that conversation. And prior to turning 55, if you are working full time, you should be putting money, you should definitely have a retirement plan, right? And have money put away for retirement, for emergencies and things of that nature. So that's very important. But if you're over 55, you definitely should be looking at your home, the size of your home, what you think that you have in here. Downsizing is a huge obstacle for everyone, including myself. Okay. Downsizing is, I realized I was paying a mortgage to hold so much clothes in this house. I said, oh, no, no. Oh, no, no. And some of the clothes I wasn't even wearing still had tags on it, and I'm paying a mortgage for it. I said, oh, no. I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, we're paying a mortgage and for a warehouse.
That's so
of
true,
holding
though.
a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And we have got to learn to let go. And so I was like, Red, this is crazy. And so over the summer, I sold a lot of clothes. And so with that, definitely they should be planning and looking at things. I'm not saying pack up and plan to move into assisted living, but what I would say is that you need to be knowledgeable. I provide educational bus tours where I take you out to 4 to 5 different types of senior living. So you can see, and I kid you not, every time I take them out and we go to independent living, the people under 62 stand there and say, wait a minute, this is senior living? I'm like, yes. So I pay, let me see, you do my laundry, you cook my meals, you clean my apartment, I can sit on a balcony. I have this 2-bedroom, beautiful apartment, all brand new appliances. Wow. I got a indoor swimming pool and a sauna and a salon on the premises, and I'm only paying $3,000. I'm like, yes. And they're like, where do I sign up? And I tell them, no. You can't sign up because you have to be over 62 to get into independent living. And I kid you not, you should see how they try to negotiate with the sales rep saying, no, wow, you should make an adjustment to that. I'm like, no, you have to be over 62 to get into independent living. But there are different types of communities. We have 55 plus communities that they call them affordable housing. And understand affordable housing is different than low income housing. Affordable housing are now investors who have smelt the blood in the water, so to speak. They have been doing studies and looking at the research about our senior community and how we are aging quickly. And so they have started at least 5, maybe 7 years ago, investing in communities, building up these affordable housing communities, or buying out the family-owned assisted living communities and putting a new paint and a nice chandelier and a grand piano, and now pop it on $7,000 a month. And so we have to be mindful these things are happening. But the affordable housing, let me show you the difference. Affordable housing are owned by private investors. They built a 4 or 5 story building with 120 apartments, right? A low income could be the same size building, but their rent runs about, according to their income, will charge them about less than $1,000, maybe 1,000, maybe 1,100. Where then affordable housing, which was done and built by investors, will start at $1,600 a month.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
And so a person who is getting Social Security of $1,400 cannot afford affordable housing, right? And then when they try to go to the low income, there's what? A wait list. So now they're stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
The cafeteria workers are stuck in the middle. The bus drivers are stuck in the middle. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The librarians are stuck in the middle. There are so many people who have worked all their lives, but they're stuck in the middle now when they're collecting their retirement funds, and they can't afford to get into affordable housing, and the low income is a wait list. And we don't know when that'll ever open again.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a catch-22 on this, and I've been sounding the alarm, trying to get our elected officials to realize we have a problem.
Right.
We have a big problem by 2030, because by 2030, all of our baby boomers will be at full retirement age. And do you know how many that is by 2030 will be made up of seniors in our population? Do you know the number?
The number.
It's over 24% of our population will be made up of seniors. That equates to between 70 to 88 million seniors in the U.S. alone.
Wow.
We have a serious crisis coming our way, and Congress is not prepared. When I hear an elected official say, we need to cut Social Security, we need to cut Medicare, we need to cut Medicaid, I'm like, oh, you're not over 55 yet. I see what's going on here.
Yeah, unless they want a homeless population of seniors.
You're going to have that. So the populations are filling up now in these communities. All these assisted living communities, they are the ones who are affordable at the $6,000, $4,000, $6,000 range. And even some people say, I can't afford $4,000, $6,000. They are filling up.
Yeah.
And we have people coming in from out of state, New York, New Jersey. When you say, oh, it's $8,000, okay, where do I sign? Florida, okay, where do I sign? I'm like, huh? You know, they're coming in because it's affordable to them compared to where they were.
Yeah.
You know, and so I find it very amazing that they don't flinch. They just come out here.
Yeah, I love to hear all these different options, though, for seniors, although we're dealing with a crisis, especially in 2030. But it's good to know that, it's not just memory care. It's not just, independent living. It's also 55 plus communities. It's, so many different options. I know that, some people still prefer to keep their parents at home. How do you decide or help people to decide if they should have their parents at home, put in all these services compared to going to an assisted living facility?
It all barrels down to cost. Having a home care provider in your house the average price is between $33 an hour to about 40 something dollars an hour. And you can't do it for 24 hours. You're talking over $9,000 a month. $9,000 a month. So which one do you think works better? Having the CNA at your home or a live-in one? Because sometimes the live-in one may save you $1,500. So then you're only paying $7,500 a month. If you have some of them, they offer a cheaper rate if you have a live-in versus someone working a shift.
Right.
But some families, at the end of the day, they're like, look, I want mom home, or mom wants to stay home. And so they make that adjustment and they pay that cost because they feel they're familiar with that environment. This is where I was born and raised and I want to stay here, So I understand that. But how do you come to that decision? It's a family discussion. If it's just assisted living, if it's just for assisted living care, and they are able to the senior is able to relay to you their concerns and things of that nature, have that conversation with them, show them the communities. You can do respite where they can stay for 30 days or less and see if that's something they like. Because a lot of times they are just nervous. They're scared. They don't want to go to a place they've never been to before. They think families are dumping them there. They think families are going to forget them, or, they think someone's going to abuse them or steal their money. And then when they get there, I've had families go to these communities, stay for 30 days, and then don't want to leave.
Got it.
Happens all the time because they realize they have people their age, they have people they can talk to. Socializing is the number one thing you have to have in place. If you're at home or in a community, or the seniors continue to engage and socialize, because when you don't do that, that's where dementia comes in. That's where Alzheimer's come in, and it moves quickly as the less they talk. You cannot keep leaving mom at home in front of the couch, on the couch watching TV. You just can't do that. And you go off to work and then come back and she wants to talk to you and you're like, I can't talk. You see, there's no socialization, and she's starting to decline.
Yeah.
And they're wondering, why is she repeating? That. Why are you saying that? Because there's no one socializing with her but the TV, and the TV don't talk back.
Yeah.
You can't ask a TV question. You can ask Alexa, but you can't ask the TV. But I do talk about if they decide to stay at home. I did a video on aging in place where I talk about different types of devices that they need to put in place if they're going to do that, like having an Alexa. Having Alexa installed in your home that allows you to call out to the police, call your family. It's not just for music. Seniors are the highest. Yes, seniors are the highest number of people who fall and end up in the hospital. And many of them fall and they're on the floor for 3 hours to 3 days and longer. Some people have found them on the floor and they have passed on. And so this is imperative. Necklaces that they wear, they are great, but a lot of times seniors forget and take them off to go take a shower. And where do they fall the most? In the shower. And the device is over next to their bed and they can't call. But you can call out to Alexa in the house.
That's a great idea.
And so it's imperative to install things like that. Also to go and some fire departments offer this senior safety program where they will come to your home and inspect it and identify areas that are fall risk for them. The carpet is lifted somewhere. The rug is too slippery. They put a rail over here so they can catch on to things so they won't fall or they can help themselves up. So talk to your local fire department. Some of them have those programs where they'll come out and identify in your home safety issues and make recommendations on how to fix that problem. So aging in place is possible. But if you have dementia, that's a hard thing. Dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, you definitely need to, unless you are familiar and truly have taken training in that area, I would strongly recommend you look at a memory care community for your loved ones, because again, socialization, it is important even with that to slow it down. You can't stop it. You can't get rid of it, but you can slow down the progression because you have them in a good environment where they are interacting with others and helps them a lot. And they have a lot of great programs in the memory care that will help your loved ones.
I love that. And I'm going to actually put some things in place. The Alexa is something I never thought about, even for my mother. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, Alexa can remind you to even take medication. Actually, one of my clients, she taught me that. I said, well, how are you remind yourself to take medication? She said, oh, Alexa. Alexa tells me when it's time for me to take my medication. And I said, okay. So guess what? Miss Retta has an Alexa now. If you can't install it yourself or your adult children don't have time, contact your local high school. Sometimes they have computer groups or teams, and they have to collect hours for their graduation, some of them. So you contact the school and ask them, do they have a computer group or team? And some of them will, with their school supervision, will come out and install the Alexa for you. Use those kids, child. Use those little brains for something. Okay?
Great idea. Yeah. So Retta, what are some of the lessons learned since you've been doing this business as you support families?
The number one thing is patience. I come from corporate America where we were moving pretty fast and expecting answers pretty quickly. When you work with seniors, you on their time. Okay. And so I had to learn patience. And so that was my number one thing, learning patience. Also, trusting in the process. I'm a Christian, so I have a strong faith in God. And so when I decided to do this full time, where everything is dependent upon what I do and getting clients in order for me to pay my bills and things of that nature, I wasn't used to it. I was used to getting a check and
Yeah.
getting paid for my work. And now I was like, I'm working hard and I didn't get a check. What's going on? And I had to adjust. It's a new culture.
Yeah.
But I had to trust the process. And the more I listened to my Bishop Lyle Dukes, he was telling us how when you put in the work, God will bless you. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You
Yeah.
know? And so many opportunities have been opening, but you got to work. Faith without works is dead. It is so, so true when it comes to being a business owner.
Yeah.
You have got to work. You got to, and what they say, work your faith. So you got to work that too and believe and study, pay attention. What is it? Slow to speak, fast to listen. That is something I learned very quickly. Slow to speak, fast to listen. When I go out to networking events, I always ask people, tell me about you, you know? So I listen and I learn and I see where my business would fit or not fit. And so I had to learn also I can't do everything. And my girlfriend, you know how your friends know you better than anyone else. She said, I know you. You don't know how to say no to people and you'll just keep on helping everybody and you're not getting paid anything. And I was like, I said, oh Lord, she know me too well. She said, okay, it's time to, she said, it's been a year. Now look at your return on investments. Look at what you have been a part of and what has garnished fruit and what has not. You got to cut it off. And I was like, she's like, nah, I know you. I know you. You will keep on helping folks. You'll keep doing this, keep doing that. She said, but you got to learn how to step away from some things and understand that it's a season for everything.
Yeah.
Especially in your business, because you will hurt your business if you keep giving and giving and giving and you're not able to pay your mortgage, you're not able to pay your bills because you're just too busy volunteering for everything. You got to balance all of that out.
Totally agree. And that's really good advice. And especially as a business
Mm-hmm.
owner, you have to sort of know where your boundaries lie.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to help, but it's also important to remember not to enable other people who are just depending on
Mm-hmm.
you, right? And then to also just do an
Right.
assessment so that you can look at how to grow so that you can actually, help more people as you begin to grow. So love that advice.
Thank you.
So since this is Love Talk and it's really about sometimes we go through different obstacles, even as we are in personal life or in business life. And so we sometimes have setbacks. So what do you tell yourself, Retta, when you want to keep motivated in the midst of setbacks, trials? You tell yourself to keep going.
I tell myself that God has a purpose for my life. This is not by accident. I feel it in my bones. Stay connected to Him. He will guide you. There are more lows than there are highs at times when you're first starting out because this was all new to me. I had never worked in the medical field.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wanted to be a nurse when I graduated from high school. And my first year in college as a nurse, when I saw those books and all those diseases and stuff, I said, oh no. I don't know how many people, I'm dating myself right now. I don't know how many of y'all remember Candy Stripers. I was cute in my little outfit, but honey, I walked in some of those rooms. I said, what is going on? What happened to you? And the nurse said, you can't say that. I said, but look at, oh, no. So I realized then that that was not my calling.
Yeah.
And so I switched over to mass communication and got my bachelor's degree in mass communication, my master's in urban policy and public administration. And so I just realized that God prepared me for all of this. None of this was by accident.
Yeah.
There are so many things that have happened in my life. And I realized I survived a lot. I survived cancer. I survived blood contamination, all of that. And I just realized that God has a plan for my life. He has something He wants me to do. And so I feel passionate about that more than anything, knowing that he has something he wants me to do. He wants me to share. He wants me to impact. I don't know the time and place, but there's someone out there he wants me to help. And so doing this, it feels right. It feels right.
And we have to have you back again to talk about your cancer journey. But, you're already helping people, even, the work that you're doing with families and just giving them different options. That is making a major difference.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. So, Retta, how do people find you?
So you can find me on, let me see, there's about 4 different places. The most obvious one is Facebook. I'm on Facebook. It's called Assisted Living Locators for Seniors and Caregivers in Northern Virginia. That's a mouthful, right? So just type in Assisted Living Locators and you'll see my face in there pop up somewhere, okay? I'm also in LinkedIn under Retta Young, Retta, Retta Young. And then I just opened up, well, someone else opened it up for me because I'm not that smart, Instagram account. I have an Instagram account called Living Locators. RY Living Locators. And then finally, I have a YouTube account. I started YouTube. I wanted people to see the journey of what I do as a senior living advisor, how I help families, what the process is and the steps. We also talk about different things like power of attorney, which is very important. Choosing a good power of attorney, how to do that, interviewing and asking valuable questions because it can go the wrong way. Okay. So my YouTube channel is called Senior Life Space. Okay. And so you'll see my mug on that too. So you'll know you're in the right place. Please go over and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it.
Wonderful. And I will have them all in the show notes as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This has been so enlightening. Thank you for taking the time to share what you're doing, the amazing things that you're doing, and I know it will make a difference. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Retta, for providing valuable information on assisted living care options for seniors. Your passion for your business and love for supporting seniors and their caretakers is evident. Your concern about the stressors seniors are facing now and in the future is heard. And I am grateful that you are doing what you can to contribute to change and provide hope. I appreciate your dedication to helping families navigate this difficult decision about long-term care for their loved ones. Thank you for sharing your insight. I will leave you with 2 affirmations from my Love Talk card deck. The first is, I am fulfilling God's calling on my life. And the second is, I am called to make an impact in the lives of other people. To purchase the Love Talk affirmation and the couple's card decks, or to listen to other podcast episodes, please visit yourlovetalk.com. To follow me on Instagram, please visit Dr. Beverly Booth. If you have enjoyed this episode, please remember to like, subscribe, and share it with your family and friends. Thank you for tuning into this episode today. This is Dr. Beverly from Your Love Talk. Blessings.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Your Love Talk. Remember, you're never alone in your struggles. Take the time to affirm yourself daily as an act of love to yourself. And know that this podcast is here to offer genuine support and guidance whenever you need it. For more insightful and transformative discussions, visit yourlovetalk.com to explore additional episodes. Take the next step forward with courage, knowing you can overcome any challenge. That's all for today. Until next time.